Hello everybody. So this is gonna be my part 1 to, well, what if Deku was a Talon? And if you guys don't know what a Talon is, I suggest go reading up on, well, the Court of Owls. And if you already know who the Court of Owls is, good for you, you're my best friend now. I love the Court of Owls, so this is gonna be fun. So Deku, he was born quirkless, and seeing how quirkless is a bad thing in this kind of world I'm going to be making, he's orphaned. Yes, orphaned. And he is picked up by, well, after stealing a bunch of stuff and trying to survive, because at this point he doesn't really have any specialities. Well, better yet, how about this? Seeing how we're still at the beginning, I could scratch that and say he's put in a type of orphanage for the unwanted. And this orphanage, well, everybody has their own special talents. See, quirkless people, they're kind of common. Kinda. Well, rare but common, you know? And everybody in there has a talent of their own. Some people are really good at strategies and other kind of stuff like figuring stuff out. And it's kind of just almost like it's a quirk, but not. Like, they can see things differently. And that's how Deku is. He can see things differently. As in, well, he sees quirks differently. He's good at figuring out stuff about quirks, which is awesome. Very awesome. And what ends up happening is, seeing how this happened when he was kind of born and his name is just going to be Izuku, he will be going to school, but it's going to be an in-school thing in the orphanage. And no one really picks up these kids except the Court of Owls. Wink. Yeah, we're not doing Haley's Circus. Come on, we gotta do a Court of Owls orphanage here. And what this orphanage is called is gonna be... What is it gonna be called? The Orphanage for the New Society. I don't know. Orphanage for the Unwanted? I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna call it this point. So yeah, what ends up happening is this: Deku, aka Izuku, is going to be... I never actually asked this, but never mind. Deku is going to be let's see here, he's going to go through a lot of studying, a lot of all that, and he's just going to be a studying kind of guy, and he wouldn't be really that depressed, because I would say a lot of people in there that are quirkless, like, kind of get where he's at, and I would say there's, like, very few people in there, so it's fun just being them in there, and they're just studying, and that's about it. That's all they do. And what ends up happening is this: around when Deku is, when he's 5, gotta give it that. When he's 5, they start training him like self-defense, stuff like that, and they give him all these like electives and stuff like that he can do as well. And what he's good into is gadgets. He can make gadgets. Yeah. So he's good at making gadgets and kind of figuring out ways to copy a quirk almost. And that's kind of the cool thing about this. He's made his own pair of gauntlets that can provide a kind of a type of smash, I would say. And it's like, how do I put it? Like, as soon as you punch, it adds another I guess punch or whatever. Basically, it's gonna provide like a shot out of the fist, like another... His fist is inside a fist, alright? It's kind of like that, alright? It's hard to explain. Best way to look at it is if you ever played Fallout 4, that punching thing, that punching melee weapon that you punch and it just shoots out, and that's how it works. It's kind of like that. I might be thinking of something else. I don't know. Anyhow, let's keep going. So Deku, the badass he is going to be kicking ass, taking names, really. Because he's got all these gadgets that are just amazing. Oh, and he's also going to be great at swordplay and hand-to-hand combat. So what is going to happen here is this. They're going to have a test, the Court of Owls, and that's kind of like where they reveal themselves at this point. And the Court of Owls is like their last base, because with all the Quark Society and All for One taking its place, they're kind of pushed back. Because All for One kind of took over a lot of their places and bases and HQs, so this is like their last base. And they're trying to prepare another army. Now they do have like the last like few Talons that are functional. And what ends up happening is this. It's the ceremony that basically most Talons have to go through, well, all Talons have to go through, in order to become a dead soldier guy, whatever. And what ends up happening here is this. Deku, this is like their final test. They have to go kill someone that did not ally themselves with them. And that's their job. Now, they're used to killing. They have been like taught how to kill criminals and stuff like that. And they've killed many of them. And I'm going to say that there's Stain is like a reject Talon. He's like escaped it. So that's how he's like that. Kind of, because like no one really knew he had a quirk. Because you have to lick someone's blood. Come on, let's be honest. It doesn't really seem like that you can find that out just, knowing, I guess. Well, I can't really do that either, because it's... I could. Anywho. Let's get to it. So, Deku, he is going to be... his job is to kill Momo. Now, he's just given a name. And he finds the place, he's given, like, the location on the place. He's got to go break into a certain room that they have given him and kill a certain person that's in that room. And they don't really give him specifications, but because it's nighttime and the person's sleeping, so they just say, kill the person that's in there. And they say it's a female. That's all they give him. So he goes in there, he breaks into the place quietly, and he finds Momo, a young girl, just sleeping. And he sees that it's a young girl as soon as he pulls the covers off her, and she awakes to a guy looking like this, with a claw kind of like about to kill her. And he kind of retreats backwards because he doesn't realize that it was a young girl. And he realizes like what they're trying to do just in that moment. And he doesn't like this at all. He doesn't want to do this. He thought he was going to be a protector of justice. That's what they taught him. That's what they've given him all these years of training and everything. They said he was going to become a protector of sorts. And he never understood what it actually meant. And so what ends up happening is this. When Momo screams, he runs, jumps out the window, smashing it to bits. How he came in through was another window, but he was just too disorganized that he just jumped through another window. And he just ran out of the property and everything. When he returned, everyone else has succeeded in killing someone's child. And when they see that he has failed, they ask him why he has failed. And he says, I wasn't told that it was going to be a child. You said that we were protectors, that we were supposed to uphold a duty. This is nothing like being a hero. This is nothing what I wanted to do. And with that, Deku, wearing his mask, wearing no mask, he puts it back on, and he instead kills his other people he's been with, and mainly because they start to let's put this scenario up. The Court of Owls says to the guards that are with him, the other Talons that are basically finished their test completely, they say, kill him. And that's when his former friends become his enemies, and he kills them. He mourns their deaths, and then looks at the Court of Owls and instantly throws several explosives into the crowds, exploding, killing the Court of Owls. Either they're men, women, or children. Some of these guys are just really just sadistic and messed up in the head. Old women, stuff like that. And he then jumps up onto the stand to where, he kind of just gets up on top of the stand with a grappling hook. Like Batman, kind of. But I'm doing this because, I'm doing this because everybody wants another Batman. But I can't really, I forgot my footing on that one. So I'm just going to do a Talon one. Alright. So he kind of goes up onto where the, main head of the Court of Owls is, and he does what Talon, what Cobb did in, Court of Owls movie. And he slaughters them all. Killing them all, slashing them up, cutting them up, throwing knives into them, all of that. And when he leaves, he set charge onto the boilers and gas line, exploding the whole place, killing everything that that is hiding or is just making sure everything is dead. And he escapes through the sewers, somewhat injured. And he kind of, after a few days, and by the way, he's 13 around this time. So, yeah. So, around when that explosion happens, heroes come, everybody's coming, they're all checking out the surroundings. And by the time the fire's put out, they realize that this was a bloodbath. And I mean a bloodbath. This was some messed up shit. People with weapons, guns, all kinds of crazy stuff. And worst of all, it was lining up with some of the people who broke into places and killed them. They were just missing one person there, and they think that person was the person that was supposed to kill Momo. And seeing how highly trained he was able to get away from all this. Mind you, some of the court members actually had quirks, so he killed a lot of them when they had quirks. And very dangerous ones at that. Like knives, stuff like that. Whips, hands, and all kinds of other ones. Then comes the best part of this whole thing. Deku, after healing up his wounds and injuries, he goes on the streets for a year and fights crime as a vigilante. And he's fighting all this crime and everything, and he actually gets spotted by heroes. And I'm going to say it's Aizawa or some other bunch of heroes, and they're all fighting, like, I would say, a gigantic person. And Deku comes in and slashes, now, Deku does kill some of them. He kills the villains that do not surrender. He's known as as a Talon, or the Owl Man, or an owl, or whatever, the owl. And that's basically what he's called. And he kills a lot of them. And when he gets in front of this really, really, really big, guy that's basically terrorizing the public, really, by smashing some buildings. And All Might is getting there. He's just, having to deal with that injury. And he's just getting powered up. And I would say it's around when All Might comes in that the job's basically wrapped up. What ended up happening was the dude's freaking artery got the dude's tendons were cut on his feet, so he powered down and got hammered by the owl. And all the heroes kind of just witnessed this, and when he said he surrenders, he just knocked him out. Most people surrender now, so they don't die. They'd rather survive than die by the owl, so most people just surrender now. And he's got a lot of blades and katanas of sorts. And what ends up happening later is this. When All Might gets there, he sees Talon, or Owl, whatever you want to call him at this point, because his vigilante name doesn't really matter. Well, it's going to be Talon for his hero name, but Owl, well, just call him Owl. Well, he sees Deku, let's fucking call him out Deku, really. I can't really handle that name. Anyhow. Alright, so he sees Deku, and what ends up happening is this, a fight. And, oh boy, is this going to be a fun fight. So, Deku, he sees how he's pretty much got a strength whole thing going on, All Might has, and as soon as All Might jumps straight towards Deku dodges the attack. He dodges, going right under his armpit and kind of, throwing All Might to the ground. And, dislocating his arm. And as soon as he dislocates his arm, he says, I don't want to hurt you. I just need to get out of here. And that was kind of like the first time that anyone's really heard Owl speak. Well, Deku speak. The fuck's with me right now? I'm tired. And what ends up happening is this. What ends up happening is, Deku, he gets away because All Might's arm is dislocated. And he gets away through a smoke bomb. And, you know what, better yet, I'm going to say he never fought All Might. I'm going to say that he threw a smoke bomb down as soon as he went towards him with a punch, and he disappeared. Pulled a Batman on him, yeah. And what ends up happening next is this. Everybody's trying to figure out who is the Owl, or who is Deku, really. So, yeah. I'm going to wrap it up here. Catch you all later. Have a good day and a good night. Peace out.